What's going on? What's going on, family? Hey, hey. All right, so I'm just checking in, making sure everything's up and running. All right, so let's get into it. We're going to talk a little bit about the state of AI automations right now. Things are going crazy with this new DeepSeek R1 that just came out and a bunch of new things happening. I just watched a great interview with Emad Maske. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but he started the company Stability AI and the diffusion model. He's an OG in the AI game. He had a great interview with Peter Diamandis. I would suggest anybody who's interested in the AI games and what's happening with all the things coming out with AI, tap in with Peter. Very, very powerful source and very great info. Um, but basically, what's going on right now is that a lot of these AI models are being trained on a whole nother level now, and they're being able to execute for a way cheaper price. So the reason that DeepSeek R1 became so viral in the last couple of weeks is because they've been able to do for pennies on the dollar what these big companies like Facebook and Meta, Anthropic with Amazon, OpenAI, and Microsoft. All of these companies have been spending hundreds of billions of dollars. Meanwhile, DeepSeek has spent a couple of million and been able to get just as powerful of a result. So what this is doing is actually democratizing the entire AI game so that more people can access to it. You don't need billions of dollars to access to it. And this is going to keep bringing that price down more and more, which is going to keep giving us more opportunities to scale and grow this thing out. So I'm super excited about what's happening in the whole hold up. Hold up. Hey, hey, what's up, Jan?
Nothing much.
I'm on the
I
live right now on Instagram. I think I should be on YouTube and everything, so just double check for me and make sure you can hear everything.
sure.
I'm just gonna be talking about updates today about what's been happening with DeepSeek R1, what's been happening with all the new updates in the AI world. So just kind of do a touch base with everybody. So yeah, the pricing of these models is gonna continue to drop, and I think that as more things come online. The year 2025, this entire year is about agents, about these AIs doing stuff for us now. So we've been ahead of the curve with Mr. GYB AI for over 3 years, as we knew that this was going to be coming. And I think this is the year that you start to see a lot of these different AI models come together. And one of the things that I love, the way Emad was talking about this, was the difference between being an expert in something than being an expert with the level of a team capability to execute, and then being the expert where you can actually innovate. So think about it from a cooking standpoint. You got a line cook. A line cook could pretty much make any quick piece of food that we may need or want pretty quickly. Then you have a head line cook position, which is someone who not only understands the line cook position but understands all the different other line cooks and understands how to put together the entire plate to make sure that the order gets done. And then you have the head chef position, which understands the full complexity of the kitchen, front of the house, back of the house, and everything in between. These AIs are in the same concept right now, where we have PhD level AI, where they're actually geniuses and on specific subjects, whether it's math, coding, writing, content creation, these different type of things. So they're really smart at these main things, but they're not able to execute for a team yet. They're at that first phase of just the line cook. This year, 2025, we're gonna start seeing the evolution of that line cook becoming a head cook at the restaurant. So meaning they'll be able to manage and run entire departments, entire sectors, because now they're not only smart as one line cook, they're 4 or 5 line cooks working together, and they can create the entire experience. So this is what this year of 2025 is going to be giving us: team level access. So now you can put an AI to start a project, and it'll be able to work with different pieces of that project, whether they needed to make, let's say for example, I want to make a book, right? Something we're working on right now. We're going to be releasing 12 books this year is our goal. We're already finishing the first one, and it's all about artificial intelligence. I'm using ChatGPT to help me with these books. We're putting all these things together of deep questions that I've asked and that I want to know the answers to, and that I think many people out there want to know the answers to, of how AI will help us, how it will affect us, philosophical questions, ethical questions, all of these different things. What does work look like? What does our life and our health look like when you're integrating with AI? So all of these things we're going to be answering in our books. But one of the things that right now is not possible is that I can say I want to write a book, and I want you to grab the graphics for me. I want you to input the text for me. I want you to make it this format and all that type of stuff. It can do pieces of that. Like, it can write pieces of the book. It might not be able to write the whole thing, but pieces of it. It can come up with good headlines. It can go back and forth with me on these things, but it won't actually create great graphics at the same time. And it won't actually go in and start to help me finish this book from A to Z without any help. In the next 6 to 12 months, this is definitely going to be possible. This is going to be a game changer where now you're literally going to be able to just talk to your ChatGPT or your DeepSeek or whatever it is, whatever source you're using, XAI or anything like that, and it'll be able to actually create all these things from scratch. So it's going to be that graphic designer for your book, it's going to be that copywriting editor for your book, and it's going to be the SEO person that makes sure that the book actually ranks, and it's going to be your digital marketing person that help you actually make videos to go viral for that book. So this is going to be the evolution of what's happening. And then after we hit, so you got 3 levels. You got the individual expert, the team of experts, and then what they start to call the super intelligence, artificial super intelligence. Most people already agreed that we've already passed the Turing test, which is basically like the first step of knowing, can is this an AI or is this a human? So with ChatGPT 3, we are basically past that first level of like, it's very hard to tell if this is a person or an AI, just from a chat, like you're chatting back and forth with it. So we've already passed that first level of general intelligence, where like most people, 7 out of 10 are not going to be able to tell if this is a chat GPT response or a person response. The next level is artificial super intelligence. And well, there's going to be 2 levels. There's going to be the level of the team members I just talked about, and then there's a level of super intelligence. The team level part is what's happening right now, where you see OpenAI launch operations, where now you can actually tell it to do operations for you, tell it to book a dinner for me, tell it to buy some tickets to a game for me. So all of these things now, ChatGPT is starting to do more things like an executive assistant, but it goes deeper into that when it starts to do 4 or 5 different tasks that are not just on one overall topic. So it's not just about booking, but it's actually able to schedule out content for social media, edit the videos for social media, reply and comment back. So these are the things that we're building into Mr. GYB AI, and that we want to be bringing to the forefront of all these agents and all these AI things, tools. So this is my really big excitement for what's coming in 2025. I think it's going to be a game changer. I also think it's going to be very, very crucial for people in the remote workspace. I'm a remote worker. I work from home. I work from anywhere in the world. I've been traveling the world for the last 8 months or so, and it's been a game changer to my life. But I think what's happening right now is artificial remote intelligence. So ARI is what they're calling it. And this is where basically in the next 6 months to a year, most of the jobs, you can say 80 to 90% of the jobs that are being done right now in remote work are going to be replaced with AI. Now, why is that? Because if the AI can actually do these things over and over, let's say, for example, social media graphic design, this is a basic remote gig, right? You hire somebody, you tell them what you want for your social media pages and your graphics, and then they go out and make it, schedule it out, and publish it. Well, if I can train ChatGPT with a screen recording, this is how I like my graphic designs, this is the stuff I want you to do, and then I can show it how to actually schedule it out and post it. Now it can actually go and make me 100 variations an hour of social media posts and choose only the very best. So this is the level of productivity and execution that's going to be able to be done through these remote systems, through these AIs working on your computer for you. So there's no one there. Literally, you're just telling ChatGPT, do this for me, and it's going to get it done. That is the power of what's happening right now. And I think that's what's going to change the game in the next 365 days. So right now we're in February, right? So think about February 2026. This entire game of online, making money online, remote work, all this type of stuff is going to be a completely different angle. You can see already so much backlash that's happening right now with the government workers. They have to come back into work. They said like 92% of them have been working from home and they're not coming into the office. All of these things are I don't like it because I want to I want everyone to work remote. That would be my dream if everyone could work remote and we can add value and support each other. But I also see as a business owner where it doesn't make sense. Why would I pay someone, $15 an hour or what $20 an hour for them to do something that the AI can do for pennies on the dollar, 10 cents an hour, 50 cents an hour, just because you're paying a monthly subscription for this thing to continue to do this over and over. So there's a big gap on what's happening right now in the marketplace, and the people that are going to win and the people that 10% to 20% of remote workers that are going to keep their jobs and are going to be able to keep working are going to be the ones that are looking into this stuff now, are understanding how to leverage this and how to get themselves to be more productive. So using tools like what we use with Mr. GYB AI and all the things that we're bringing into that tools kit, this is going to be the stuff that changes the game and allows one social media manager to do the job of 10 or 20 and allows one content creator to do the job of 10 or 20. Is when you start to put these tools together and understand what's happening at the cutting edge. You're talking about 10 to 15 different companies competing every single week, dropping new features, dropping new updates, whether it's image generators, video generators, coding generators. All of these AIs are competing and they're constantly one-upping each other on a new feature. It really reminds me a lot of when the iPhone first started coming out and then the Androids were coming out, and it was like every single month Samsung would drop something new, Apple would drop something else, Samsung news, Apple something else, and it was like this competition where the market kept innovating and it kept getting better. That's what's happening right now with the AI space, and I think the next 6 months to a year we're going to start seeing an explosion in these things actually taking over and doing a lot of real life things for us. Which leads me into the next piece, which is the AI being used for robots. So they already have robots right now that they're making at $16,000, like for sale today in China. You can buy a full robot. I think it's about 4 foot tall. It's basically like a toddler, teenager, toddler sized robot. And for $16,000, you can have this thing be your assistant, your little assistant and support. And it can be trained to do a lot of different things around the house, folding clothes, cleaning the floors, different things like that. But this is step one. This is the first robot. Think about this, guys. This is like the first phone that's being produced. Like, this is the first robots that's being produced at this price point between $16,000 and $20,000. You're talking about the size of a Toyota, the cost of a Toyota, the cost of a Honda, but you have your own robot now. This is gonna change the world. This is gonna change the entire game. And when you think about, even from a business perspective, how do you implement these robots into learning your business? And the coolest part about it is that the business owners like myself who have been creating programs, doing online work, and training staff and creating SOPs and processes, this is gonna allow them to be way ahead of all the other business owners that are not creating systems and processes for their business. Now, why is that? Because if you've never trained someone before, then it's going to be difficult for you to train a robot. But if you have trained lots of people and created procedures and processes and systems in your business, now the robot has a lot of data and a lot to work with. So it's going to be way easier for that robot to get the things that you want done faster than if you were trying to do it on your own or trying to teach someone from scratch. I can tell you from experience, I've trained hundreds of people. When I first started working, training, and managing the first couple people, let's say the first dozen people, I had a harder time getting the results I wanted, keeping the standard I wanted, making sure they were happy and they were moving forward at the pace that I wanted. But then afterwards, once I started to work with a lot of different people and train a lot of different people, understand everyone takes information and knowledge in differently, it completely changed the game for me. I was able to actually start getting way better results, more support, people getting better at what they're doing and learning and asking the right questions. And that allowed me to tweak my trainings, tweak my systems and my SOPs so that now I can get a better result overall and not just be teaching people that learn like me or learn in my way. So that's a huge game saver there. And I think that with what's happening with the AI right now, we're seeing it on an algorithm level, meaning digitally. We're seeing it through ChatGPT, through DeepSeek, through Perplexity, through XAI. These are just the first versions where we're seeing the remote capabilities do these videos, do these graphics, do these things all virtually. But then now imagine when that virtual being or that virtual ChatGPT assistant becomes physical with my robot for $15,000, $20,000. That think about that. You're talking about paying less than a couple $100 a month for a robot. Literally, you're talking about the price of a phone bill. You'll be able to have a robot. That's what's going to be happening. You can get a car for $300 to $500 a month. You're gonna be able to get same type of capabilities from a robot for 100 to 300, $400 a month. And now you're talking about pennies on the dollar if I'm using that robot to help me work. Imagine I have a lawn mowing assistant. I own a lawn care business, and then I just literally take my $16,000 robot, put him in the car with me, drive down to the lawn, and I tell him do every single lawn. And now instead of charging $30 per lawn, I can charge $25 per lawn because I'm paying 50 cents per hour of that robot working. That's the capability of what's happening, and that's what's going to change the game as far as like productivity, resource, all that stuff. But again, you have to be ahead of the game. If you don't want to be displaced, if you don't want to be the one that's getting replaced by these robots, you have to understand how to manage, how to run, how to incorporate your business skills and your stuff that you bring to the marketplace. Help the robots do it with you instead of without you. That's going to be the difference. The people who are helping the robots and the robots are working with the people, those are going to be people that have the long-term benefits of these robots coming into the market. The people who are sitting around and waiting and hoping that this stuff doesn't affect them, those are going to be the people that are going to be displaced and not going to have income and opportunities and different things. So that's one thing. The other thing I want to touch about is this dude Emad. He talks about um, what is it called? Basically, he talks about AI as a entire blanket for everyone in the government and everyone in the world. So instead of like basic income, like where everybody gets a paycheck, he thinks that that's appropriate as well. As we start to build more AIs that bring in more revenue, there's gonna have to be some type of dividend payout or benefit for the government and the people who are helping produce these type of things, because it is our data, our information that's being used, and they are benefiting off of our economic involvement and growth, right? So there's a level of payment and money that needs to be associated with the AI stuff. But the other element is universal basic income. Excuse me, that's what it is. Universal basic income. So that's one layer of it. But then the second layer of it is universal basic AI. So basically, everyone in the world should have access to a ChatGPT or above type of model that allows them to scale and learn and execute things at a high level. And the reason this is so important is because you can't have the richest people in the world have access to these AI models, and they know pretty much anything and everything because the AI is there to support them. But then the lower half of the population doesn't have access, can't afford it, or whatever, and then now they don't understand and are able to keep up. There was a study in Africa where I think they said in less than 2 years of using ChatGPT, an entire school was able to learn 4 or 5 times faster than if they were teaching with people. So the AI agents accelerated school learning by 4 or 5x. So the kids, the same two schools, put it this way, two schools, one school, kids were in first grade. The other school, the kids were in first grade. But by the time they got to third grade, this school that had the AI was at a fifth grade or sixth grade level, while this school was still at a second grade level. That's how fast the AI can help speed things up. And now you think about this on a global level: poverty, homelessness, hunger for food, all these different problems. If we are able to create a universal um, artificial intelligence that anyone and everyone in the world could have access to, you're talking about lifting an entire population. You're talking about eliminating a lot of these global pandemics and problems that we have when it comes to these type of problems. So I think there's a lot of big benefits to that. But one of the big things holding these things back is the power, the energy cost, how much it costs to make power, how much it costs to make energy so that you can feed these algorithms and these AIs so that they can be able to be accessed by more and more people. Because again, the cheaper it costs to compute to make these systems, the cheaper they can spread it out more. Just like a phone. Back in the day, it was very difficult to produce phones at scale and bring the cost down, so they were very expensive. Now you can get any phone for maybe 100, $200 and have the capabilities of the latest iPhone and stuff like that, top quality camera, great apps, all that stuff, access to the internet and all that. And that wasn't possible just a couple years back. And that's because of how much they've improved in production, how much they've improved in materials, from the raw materials, batteries, all these different type of things. So this is what's going to happen in the AI space as well. They're going to be driving the cost down of electricity, because they're going to need a lot more electricity to run these data plants and run these big storage facilities where all this memory and all this computing is going to be happening, right? So as that price drops, that means our gas prices are going to drop. That means our electricity prices for our homes are going to drop. And that means overall the price of artificial intelligence being associated with all these different levels of our lives is going to keep growing more and more. And that's going to be huge. There's a direct correlation between the cost of energy. So the cheaper the energy goes, the more people are risen out of poverty. There's a lot of books and articles on this. I'm doing more research on this stuff, but I was fascinated by this, where basically you can see like however much people are paying per gigawatt or whatever. If that goes down, then the poverty rate decreases as well. So the cheaper the energy, the less people are in poverty. The more expensive the energy, the more people are in poverty. So that's a direct correlation. If you see China right now, they're investing heavy into nuclear plants, coal plants, and a bunch of different type of plants across the country to do more energy, so they can make more energy, so they can produce more things, and everything from crypto to AI to even more renewable energies to run the basic grid that we already have for our electric vehicles, for our homes, for all these things. All of that is going to be dependent on this cost of energy. So I think there's going to be a huge uptake in the next 6 months to a year, and focus on how do we make energy cheaper. You see, Trump is really adamant about talking about this. There's a lot of different players, like a lot of the tech companies have transitioned from software and algorithms and AI type of things, so now they're doing more chips and they're doing more batteries and they're doing more energy and power deals, because that's the new bottleneck. It's no longer how much software we can make the software better. That's going to continuously improve. But where they're seeing giant leaps of improvement is by building out these other pieces of the hardware. How does the energy cost go down? How does the battery capacity increase so you can store more energy? And how do we leverage all of that energy into creating cheaper models and cheaper hardware for our end consumers? So I think 2025 is an exciting year. It's literally the first month of the year, and we're just going into month 2 for February right now. And we already had 2 brand new OpenAI announcements. One was from the operations, and now they just released Deep Research, the O3 model. They had to release it because everyone was going crazy over the DeepSeek R1 model and how it was competing with the O1. So these are new reasoning models. The O1 and the R1 are comparable, but O3, which is the new OpenAI reasoning model that they just launched last weekend is already saying that it's better than the R1 and the O1. So that's impressive. So just in the first month of the year, we already got like 4 or 5 new reasoning models that are a whole new level of AI compared to the old ChatGPT and things of that nature. And then we're seeing more and more things happening with video platforms like Kling AI, Runway AI. These platforms are releasing new updates that are insane. They literally look like 4K real videos. You can't even tell the difference between a real video and an AI video. Is getting better and better. And then you got images stuff coming out. You got the coding wars with Bolt.new and Lovable and Replit and Cursor and all these platforms. They're all competing, trying to get better with coding. So you have your entire coding stack team there. And it's just a lot of different things. And I'm playing with all of these at different stages. So I'm doing some coding work stuff. I'm doing some video generation, some images, some text. I'm testing all of them at the same time. But the thing that I'm most impressed about right now is probably going to be the coding, the video, and then these new operations things that's being able to be done, as far as like actually being able to tell the AI what you want it to do, look at the things that it's thinking through and how it's thinking about it, and then being able to influence that. So, hey, I don't want you to think about it this way. I want you to think about it this way. Think about this as like if you were training a new employee into your team and they actually showed you the steps that it's going through and thinking of how to solve this problem for you, and you can actually go through it, look at those steps, and tell it the steps that you would do on how you would solve that problem, and now it can actually go and execute that. So I'm just super excited about all the things happening right now. Is there anything that I haven't touched on, Jan, that you think I should touch on before we jump off? Give them another 2 3 minutes here. We're good. Okay, Jan says we're good. So I think we covered a lot of the main updates that I want to touch on. With our right now, we're focusing as a business for the GYB agency. We're locking in on our affiliate campaigns. We got a big breakthrough today. I'm excited to be launching that soon, where everybody's going to be able to sell our affiliate toolkits, our software, and so many things. And then you guys will be able to make money with us. So anytime you share a link, you support us, you let anybody know about our AI or our CRM system, you're going to be able to make money off of that as well. And this is going to really amplify the network that we're trying to build here and allow more people to be locked in with us and scale with us. So I'm super excited about that. If you want to learn more about how to work with me, go to the link in my bio, go to chrismateo.com, CHRISMATEO.com. Click the link, talk to me, book a call. Let's talk about how we can grow your business, whether it's through digital marketing, through automations, through business optimization and processes. We're here to help. We've been doing this for 13 years. This is what I love to do. And every single Wednesday, you can find us here on the GYB Mastermind call. Let's go. Thank you guys.